Hello and welcome back to episode 28 of our Timberborn Ironteeth Meander playthrough. It has been about a month since we have been on this playthrough, and that's because we had all of the craziness of the 1.0 experimental launch, followed by me getting sick and not having time to record a lot of videos in between work. So the release schedule got a little slowed down, actually a decent amount slowed down. But we're looking to rectify that now, and we're getting back into some of these older playthroughs because I want to make some progress on them. And without further ado, let's get started. We just started a bad tide, it looks like. I do remember one of the things I wanted to work on was getting power shafts underground and spread out across the map so I could put some more power stations. Let's see. I wanted to go down to the bottom. So we do have power shafts paralleling some of our tubeways. And I think one of the easiest things to do is going to be to kind of keep it that way. I think I'm going to expand the tubeways this way to just give another connection point, and then a path that the power shafts can then also be built alongside that. So if we look at the more tunnels that we have, and solid tubeway tunnels are just straight up cheaper than the platform, the normal tunnel and regular. The normal tubeway and the normal tunnel. So we're going to do that. Let's just connect these, for instance. Might even make sense to connect that. And if they're going from like way over here to over here for some reason, although they don't, that's just below our reservoir. No, that is a farm. Okay, yeah, let's make some alternative paths there. This does add calculations that our beavers have to decide what is the fastest route. But it gives more options, and likely there is a faster route at that point. So it is helpful. Now, let's see. Can I look at powers? The tunnels. Yes, okay. So, they're just pretty different. I'm comparing the regular tunnels and power shafts to the solid power shaft tunnels. And it looks like the regular one requires 6 planks in one log, and the solid requires 2 logs, 2 planks, and a gear. So this is a total of 7 log equivalents because each plank is made from 1 log, each gear is made from 1 plank. So this is 5 total log equivalents, and this is 7. So this is technically cheaper, and it requires less processing. So I'm going to go with that method. So if we do something like this, and just scroll up 1 level, well, let me make sure I get the right spot there. So let's get fully straight up and down, and then scroll up 1 level, and then scroll back down, and we can get over the top of that. And since this will be running right alongside some tunnels, they can build all of it. And since those other ones are only 1 above the tunnels, they can reach all of that no problem. Then we just need to decide where we want the actual power stations. Because what we're trying to do is get power stations out here so that charging stations, so the beaver bots don't have to go as far to from their workstation to get a charge. And I put this on the very ground level, or near it. Okay, let's back up a little. Okay, so I don't like that spot to get across there, actually. So I'm actually going to get rid of all of that. So let me think, actually. Okay, so if I get across over here, yeah, I know. Me thinking could be scary, could take a while. I understand the apprehension. I think I want the charging station to come out right here, and the power shaft to come here, and then we can have a charge station here and here. And do the same over there. So that'll be a goal. That will be a goal. And then we just go down here and we connect them. Yoink. Although all of that will be deleted, because we only left one area below there. So maybe that's not how we want to do it, since it's going to take away the terrain above it the whole way there. Maybe at that point it makes more sense to I wonder if the charging stations can connect from the bottom. That's something we have to test, because I don't know that off the top of my head where the connection ports for that are. So if we go to science and get a charging station, of course that's not a vertical one. Well, let's just place a vertical power shaft. And would we be... Some buildings you can power from the bottoms, others you can't. And when that lights up light green, that means it is charging, and you can see that little additional gear at the bottom of it. If I can get the right angle, you can maybe see it a little more clearly. So yeah, right below my cursor, that additional gear, that gear says it's transferring power up there, so they can go below it. Wonderful. Let's go back to where we were over by this farm. Scroll down to the bottom layers, or close to it. So if they can charge from the bottom, I think 3 charging stations for this one farming outpost should be enough. There's only 4 bots that are going to be working over here. So with that in mind, I do believe I will do something like that. And then we'll have the road go over here. Not quite, actually. Yeah, that's still fine. So we'll just mark those for deletion. Plop some charging stations right here. Make a path right there. And then we just need some control towers over here. Let's see. They're about that wide. If we want them to always be affecting them, we can have one right up here. And then it looks like we are going to have to delete some other stuff over here to make that happen too. Well, that covers most of it, realistically. So maybe right there. Let's see. Is that one? We can put control tower there. Hoping that's close enough to, yes, it is. To the road. Okay, we're still missing out over here. I don't think I'm going to worry too much about that. Those aren't connected until a lot more of this bottom stuff is actually built. Although, oh, we don't have a two-way path going between there. So, actually, it would make more sense if we just have this going along the pre-existing tube-way. Like so. I think that means some of our other ones can't be built. No, I built this tube-way alongside it to make that happen. So after they build those, that will connect the power. What we got going on there? Okay, that one we can't reach either. So we're just going to need a tube-way down there to make that happen. Right there should be able to make it happen. That'll be in range of that. And after this is built, we should have charging stations over here with power. We do. And with that, I'm going to switch these over to bots. We can switch this one over to bots too. Okay. Now we just got to do something similar over here. Get some charging stations available. Over here we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, so 8, 9 workers. So probably, I don't know, 5 charging stations might be helpful. So let's go back to our power station tunnels. And let's scroll down to the, well, let's just scroll down so I can keep this spot kind of marked. Wow, it is right above a shaft already. Cool. So I said about 5. That should work. And if we delete those, that can be the roads. The paths. Yeah, since they can get above it, they should have access to everything up here. I'm pretty sure we can still have the path going on top of the vertical power shaft. Indeed, we can. Okay. And then we need to get this area covered with control towers. So it looks like we're going to want one right in this spot. Let's zoom in on that spot so I don't lose it. There we go. That could be one control tower. And we could put another one, say, right there. If they can reach it, which I kind of think they can't. Indeed, they can't. Let's see. We can honestly just extend this path for now to get them closer. And then we can delete the path. In fact, I don't know what the path is doing over where it was already. It's kind of strange. Yoink. I guess we also need grease, don't we? We need like a storage building for grease near these other areas. Okay, that's in range now. So let's go ahead and put that just near the tubeways themselves. And grease is held in tanks. All right, so that's where that covers. Let's extend these control towers more. Why won't it let me kind of mouse over it for the other crops, but not over here? Okay, now it is. So probably actually down there is the best spot. So let's do that. Interesting. We have some drying out over there. I suppose when the water here isn't high enough. Why isn't the water there high enough? This is set to close and this is set to automatic. Okay, well this is pretty high. And it's getting pumped out right there. This is flickering on and off, I take it. Yeah. So are these. Okay, because we kept this at only 0.3. That's why. Okay, so these are at 0.35 and this is higher than that. That's actually strange. No, that's not strange. I'll keep the water in there. Duh. Oh, you know what? These were irrigated because this was a little deeper hole that we were pumping out of. Is there still water in that deep hole? I don't think so. Yeah, that's not doing anything. We filled that hole up and we blocked the way that water got in there. Which means we can plug it up and plant trees. Oaks, to be precise. Did I? No, I did not replant an oak where I was planning to put the control tower. Good. Control tower. Why can't I put the control tower there? Ah, because there's logs just sitting right there. Come on, guys, store the logs. Somebody, please. Wait, was that not where I wanted it? No, it's not. This is where I wanted it. Victory is mine. All right, so the new place is just going to be the intersection of that control tower and this control tower, which is right there. Let's look at that again. Intersection right there. And when they reach that, they can. Excellent. We are definitely going to need to build more number crunchers to facilitate these control towers. So all of this that I'm doing, building charging stations around the map, building grease storages and these control towers, is to let our bots more be able to actually effectively take jobs around the map. So now that I have that there, all of these can be transitioned to bots without worry. And we'll evaluate if we need more charging stations. We might, because other things that come out here would be the haulers that come out to take away the food and to... Did I miss that there was a farm here? That one's not bots for some reason. I did. I thought there was only 2 farms. There are 3. I think we will be needing more charging stations than that. Let's take care of that. So, actually, there's 4. There's one up here, too. There's just as many as up here. Okay. So I settled on 5 over there. Let's do that again, I guess. So, I want to go to power shaft tunnels, and we'll build one there and there. And we'll go to charging stations. They're going to be facing this way. Boom. Boom. Because we currently still have unemployed bots. We don't like that. We want them to have jobs. But we need them to be effective where they're going to have those jobs. I think the next step is to do something over here near these pumps. Get those within range of charging stations and control towers. So if we look at the control towers again, and we stay in line with this. It's not actually showing me the arrow, but this is in line. Right there is where I'm going to want it. And that spot will be able to reach all of these pumps, as well as part of this area, which will be very handy. Means all we need now over here are some charging stations. So let's figure out where we have our power over here and how we can connect it effectively. I think it's just going to be kind of on this area over here that we're going to do that. Okay. That's not bad at all. Let's delete some of those, though. Let's see. Since we're coming from over there, let's have this be where it comes up. Oh, I think I missed. There we go. All right, excellent. And then we can do something like... Actually, this one's unnecessary. Why is it not like... Okay, there it goes. Something like that, right? Then we just need this one deleted as well. And actually, like so. And we can have the tank for the grease right there. And grease. Now we do need to get access over here. And I think the closest way to do that's just going to be like this. Then they'll be able to reach all of that. And then we can delete those, actually, because it's just going to be extra paths that we don't really need. And what's still going on over here? It looks like I have a lot of extra tubeways and such from building this. I don't think I can access, and by this I do mean the tunnel for our connected reservoirs. I don't think I can access those materials very easily at the moment. Okay. But seeing all those tubeways didn't feel right to me. Didn't feel good. Okay. Excellent. These still aren't connected. We're waiting for them to build these two-way tunnels and then to build the last of those power shafts. Unconnected buildings. It's unconnected. Oh, yeah, you can't be that. It would have to be there. This would have to be another power shaft. That makes sense. Wait, that didn't need to be a power shaft. It just needed to be a path. Oops. Oh well, it's done. And this can be grease right here, set to obtain. And then with that, bot, 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 bot. Actually, we have a lot more workers over here than I thought because of the lumberjacks. And the forester for that matter. So we might even want more power stations. In fact, I'm pretty sure we do want more power stations. We'll see. Because, yeah, those are all filling up pretty quick. Okay, but then they're done charging. And they move on with their lives. If you can call them lives, that is. It might be okay. We'll kind of keep an eye on it. The only sign that it wouldn't be okay is if, for a decent amount of time, we have airs of bot running out of power. So far, so good. You know, I think we really don't have enough water storage. And I kind of want to address that. I'm trying to decide if I can go up another layer here easily. Looks like I already have right here. So, yeah, I can go up another layer fairly easy. Really, not much of a point to go that far. Oh, wait, these are all small, so I actually do need... Yeah, we can just do it that way. That's fine. Something like that. Well, we can fit 2 more large tanks up there. Boom, boom. Excuse the yawn. I'm sorry. All right, we keep finding jobs for beaver bots to do now that we've expanded our power grid, but we're making bots faster than that still. So let's keep on working on that. Let's get them over in this area for these pumps. And for these farms, although these farms really were just a temporary measure until I got this going. What's actually going to suck is I do plan on expanding this vertically over here. But these control towers are super tall, so they have to be on the top layer to be effective. Let's see. I honestly think just somewhere kind of over here for a little charging port would be good. It's fairly close to the tubeway. This can be a storage for grease right there. Let's see, let's find where that next control tower would go actually first. Looks like we need to stay in line here. The ideal spot is actually right under that, which means it is not ideal. Or over the top of here, loses just a little bit of area. And I think we're going to go with that. So we're going to put a platform right there and then a control tower. Then it looks like we want to go, honestly, right about right here, right? That kind of stinks. But we could do the same trick. Platform, then control tower. And this, having that control tower there will actually help because we have a decent amount of haulers that go towards these industrial piles. And once we have more of the map as like friendly, covered with control towers, then we can switch more bots over to haulers. Which will actually be very helpful because they do have a greater movement speed than the fleshy ones. I think they do, at least with our current wellness bonuses. Oh yeah, only this one only. You're fresh out of the oven, out of the vat. That's the problem. Out of the breeding pod. Why don't you have shelter? You are also fresh out of the breeding pod. The first thing you do is you go for a swim? Okay, I accept. You go into existence and you decide it's swim time. All right, so this one is a good example. They actually has almost as much as ours. At 52 wellness, they gain 60 move speed. We're not even there on average. And the fully charged bots have 80. All right, so let's see how we want to get power over here. Let's see. So I'm thinking we want somewhere right around here for the power to come up. That's going to be a little bit tricky to get to. Not the worst. Perhaps something like this. Oh, yeah, there is going to be a lot of lag here. All right, that should be able to connect that spot. No problem. Let's go ahead and find where we were again. We're right here. Okay. Actually, I probably should be right here. Let's go up. Oh, so they let me build it underneath crops like that, but oh wait, I already placed it. I was gonna say underneath crops, but not underneath trees. Yeah, we're not waiting that long for those oaks. Just not happening. Small tank. Grease. Obtain. Wait for materials. We're short on gears. Guess we have been building a lot of vertical power shafts, which require gears. With that in mind, let's check how we are doing for gear production. Okay, I don't see any gear production on that level. We got some down here, though. We actually got quite a bit making gears, but we were just really, really pumping out the vertical power shafts. plenty of planks. So if we wanted to, on the parts that don't go up and down, we could do just the tunnel power shafts for now, because although they require more total log equivalents, they don't require that additional processing into gears, which is currently turning out to be our limiting factor at this exact moment anyway. All right, so that's all built. Now we need the actual charging stations. Are we full on mushrooms? So that's why that's not producing anything? No. What's wrong with this? Why isn't it making mushrooms? Oh, it is. It just takes forever. That's right. 192 hours. Oh, these require quite a bit of gears too. 15 for each charging station. All right, that is definitely part of the issue with our gear shortage. We might just want to kind of chillax on the gears for a moment. Just let on the charging stations and let the gear storage build up a little bit again, because we are out. Which food could we use more of? It looks like eggplants we could use a little bit more of. Remember, this is going to be part of more of our residential area with like entertainment and stuff. We just were in a bit of a food crisis, so we quick plopped this down in this area. Once we get a little more stable and have a chance to expand this vertically, then we can get rid of this. Cassava there. You know, yeah, sure. We could use a little more cassava. Why not? Beaver is injured. What did you get injured doing? You're unemployed. How did you get injured? Well, once you're injured, you are unemployed, I guess. But curious what dangerous job we still have the fleshy ones doing. Ah, perhaps these food factories. Centrifuges are high risk as well. Smelters are medium risk. Yeah, so there's some stuff that it's definitely some injury prone jobs that they are still doing. But we do have some of the worst culprits as bots. Jesus, we are still going up in unemployed bots. I suppose this area is pretty much ready. We can switch these over to bots, I do believe, without too much worry. Let's see, how far does this go? Okay. Doesn't reach this area, which is not ideal. But we build that one, and then we're good. I believe. Also, we can probably replace these, although the charging stations are pretty far away, so we're definitely going to have to watch that fact. So a lot of these are pines and coffee. The gatherer is doing just fine. I don't think we need all of these. I don't think we need 3 lumberjacks for that amount of oaks. In fact, I am quite positive we do not. 2 should be more than enough. We can go ahead and put a grease station down here. With that control tower there, These pumps are free to... Oh, I don't want to pause them. I want to make them bots. Do we need all of those gatherer flags? Probably not, but we'll see, I guess. Now, there is definitely the possibility of needing more charging stations now, so we'll keep an eye on that. Okay. We definitely got a lot more of our bots jobs, and that was definitely one of our goals. I wish there's a way to see like the average quote unquote well-being or conditions of your bots. Like, are some of them not getting grease very often? Are they running out of the control tower? He did run out of the control tower for a bit there. Okay. It's in this storage area. Got it. So actually then if we plop a control tower like say here, that might be quite good. Or actually, dang it, no, not right there. Actually, right there is a great spot for it. We had to put this one in a kind of weird spot. Like these old ones were kind of, we ended up with some overlap, but this doesn't overlap with this very much, nor does it overlap with that one. So it's going to be quite well, actually. And I do believe that they can't reach it. I do believe, oh, of course, it's too high. They still can't reach it. I do believe after we build that stair, they can reach that control tower. Aha, no more error messages. Even these control towers take quite a bit of the gears, so yeah. We might have to find a different project to work on for a bit until we get some more gears, because we are struggling to the point where I think we need to make more gear factories, question mark. Yep. Let's go ahead and, were these just, no, they're normal path tunnels? Oh, we don't have an actual path to our tube way up there. That was the problem there. Okay. And then we can do a piece of terrain right here. Power shaft there. And although it's far away from here, it's close to the power, so I'm going to start over here with our gear workshops. I'm just going to build, I think 4 more to get really caught up on our gears, I think. Because we are going to keep expanding with the charging stations, control towers, etc. So that's going to use quite a bit of gears. And as I was saying that, I decided we wanted even more gears. That does lead me to believe we might run into issues with planks if we're making that many gears. So we're going to build 2 of those as well. See how that does. We still have plenty of logs, so we don't have to worry about that at all. But yeah, the gears were going down, and so were the planks as a result. Let's see. Each one of these takes 3 hours to make a gear. So this should be able to supply quite a bit of gear factories. So that should really up our production of that. We're not going to need that level of gear production in the long run by any stretch of the imagination. But while we are expanding our power grid, our charging stations, and our control towers, that is going to be very helpful during that. Because as we saw, that really chews through the gears. And they are still using a lot of gears. Very interesting. Definitely noticing some lag issues on this map, and we are spread out a lot more, thus have a lot more paths than our other playthrough. I don't know if we're gonna bring this up any higher. Maybe. So we might want to start looking at deleting the unneeded paths to save on calculations. Definitely don't want to delete the impermeable floors up there. Watch, I deleted that. Now they can't reach it. Oh, no, they still can reach it. Good. We don't need to get on top of this anymore for any reason. So we can delete those paths. All of that. Every dead-end path that we get rid of saves on processing power. Because each path makes more calculations that the game has to run in order to know what is the best path. Because each time a beaver needs to go somewhere, the game decides what's the fastest route. Well, it has to explore all possible routes to do that. And that makes a lot of calculations. Especially when you have almost 300 beavers and 200 bots. A lot of calculations. Okay, are gears recovering at all? Yes, they are. It's gonna take them a while though. Even with all that extra production, it's looking like it's going to take a while. I'm trying to decide if I want storage up here for gears and such. Gears and planks. And I think we can make it work. Just for now even. Let's do planks on this one. Those are warehouses. That's a warehouse though. That's not the right building for planks. So we can put the planks here that are produced, and then these guys can, and these ones need the planks, so we'll have that close by. We can set that to obtain. Set this to gears, and yeah, just sure, supply. Why not? How about just accept? That's probably acceptable. Accept is acceptable. Still 33 bots that are looking for jobs. And I know I can click on the like jobs up here and switch it that way, but I want to make sure that the positions that I'm assigning the bots are in areas that have access to charging stations, grease, and control towers. So I really do need to find the actual location and make the decision if I want it to be bots or not. I do think switching all of these over is going to strain my current charging capabilities, quite possibly. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But that's one of the reasons why we're trying to get so many more planks going, right? It's a nice little charging station I got over there. Our science is going down quite extensively. We're going to want to address that. We could pop another number cruncher just down here. Only problem is that we can't reach that area to build at the moment. I don't think we're going to need... Well, we can block this off for now. We don't have access to that steam engine anymore. Sorry, just engine. This isn't 1.0. I don't think they actually connect that way, though, do they? They might. Yeah, it's lit up. Huh. I don't know how many more of these number crunchers we do. I'd have to count up our number of control towers. But each of them requires 100 gears. So, again, with the gears issues, right? Let's see, can I count up the control towers? 1, 2. I don't know if there's an easier way than just physically counting. 1, 2. If there is an easier way, like somewhere you can look up here, let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 control towers that use 3 science an hour. So that's 45 science an hour we are using. So we need to be at least producing 50. So we need 5 number crunchers total. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 only. So we're going to be losing 5 science an hour at that rate. We need to crunch more numbers. Each of these does drain quite a bit of power as well. They need 500, and we don't have the power right now. We actually have a lot more demand than we have supply. That means we have to turn back on some steam engines. For now. To help out with that. I mean, building all of these extra gear factories, yeah, that definitely did not help. It's too far from the district center, so let's extend this road again. Then once they can build this, we can rebuild the, actually, yeah, the stairs right there. We're a lot closer to being caught up on our power demand, but we're still not there. So that might have been part of the problem too. Well, exasperating the problem that we didn't have enough power for all of our number crunchers. Okay, that one's built. Let's delete this extra path and rebuild that wooden stairs. So I don't think there's a way to avoid it anymore. Next episode, we are going to have to expand the power tower. We just straight up need more power. Get some more power, get those gravity batteries charged to help us out when we have to shut some of this down to expand. If we even have to. Honestly, now that I put these access points for the water wheels in there, we don't have to delete this side to actually expand. So we might have the ability to keep that running, which would be very cool. So we'll see. So we'll just need to keep it going. Because we do need more power. We just really expanded our industrial power consumption quite a bit. Yeah, we can always lower that consumption some, turn off some gear workshops, but we need more gears right now. Yeah. Let's address that issue, I guess. Not the permanent solution of the power tower, because that'll be something for next episode. But with some more engines, we can help supplement that power. I think I am just going to go all the way down the line here with these. Okay. That's probably to be expected. Looks like we'll be able to squeeze one more in there. This is unnecessary, though. Now with those other steam engines going, it looks like we should have enough power that this is going up, and indeed it is. Though it is kind of strange we don't have any dynamite below this. We didn't blow this out for the gravity batteries. We're going to need those to charge more before we can actually do something about that, though. We have barely more supply than demand with all those additional engines. The other thing working against us for charging these gravity batteries is that now that we have so many bots working, the buildings the bots are working at will be drawing power all throughout the night. Before we had bots during non-working hours, we were still producing the power but not using it, so that gave the gravity batteries a chance to charge. We lost out on that charging period due to that. But really, we should be doing all right still. I wonder, I think we could safely transition probably another hauling post to beaver bots. It looks like most of them are bots already. This would definitely be something looking at the workplace feed over here would work. Workplace menu. So we're looking at hauling post. We still have 2 that are fleshy beavers. Let's change that to just 1, I guess. See how that goes. Industrial lumber. Okay, the lumber mill that's over there is still the fleshy ones. Oh, is that in range of the control towers there? No, those are not. We're going to want to address that, of course. It looks like right there should be a pretty good spot for now. Why? Okay. And then this would not be a bad spot at all either. Or would this? I think we're going to go with this one. Give that a whirl. Now allow us to switch more of these over to bots. We can't get all the mushrooms. Okay. So we're not producing enough mushrooms. We'll have to look into that. All right. Cool. Powered by bots. Run by bots, I should say. So is that. So is that. So is that. And that. Now I am definitely starting to worry about charging stations. So we will have to work on that as well. I guess we can very easily plop one down right here. It's already got access to power and there's the room for it. This is kind of the back of these, got it. So that's something, I guess. What about right here? This isn't connected to power, though. That's fine. We'll keep an eye on, see how many issues we have with running out of power. Our damn dry. Nope. Doing perfectly well. We're pumping so much bad water out, though, that it's having trouble reaching off the map. No. Yeah, because the bad water flow never changes. So we keep the bad water flowing with our discharge. Discharge? Yeah, discharge. And our reservoirs are filling up. It is that temperate cycle. And we're keeping our tanks completely full as well. Now, with this being near a major one of our pumping operations over here, I kind of think, yep, I'm going to build another large tank over there. Don't judge me. Right there. And you know what? We are over an hour. I definitely think we got some things accomplished today. Mostly just getting the groundwork laid to switch more of our workforce over to bots, which is definitely one of our goals. And now we do know we need to expand our power tower quite a bit. Pretty badly, in fact. Why are we flooding? Why are we flooding? No, for real, why are we flooding? Should just flow out here. Flow out here, no problems. Just a little surge, I guess. I don't know, do we need to lower this a little bit? It's possible. If we lower that 2, we do have to lower this by 2 as well. Or else water will not stay here. Or water will still be flowing out here, I guess, would be the more correct answer. You know what? It might be better to have these be floodgates. Possibly. I don't know. We're doing okay. Our good water's flowing off here. It would be nice if it joined our bad water to spin some of these wheels. It's not a big deal that it's not, though. Really. We did that to prevent any flooding issues downstream. Which definitely works, so, and is helpful. Oh, we didn't set this to water. So, anyway, flooding resolved itself. It was just a little surge once the water started overflowing our reservoir. But, yeah, like I said, a lot accomplished today. We ate through a lot of gear, so we upped that production. And next time, we're going to be looking at expanding the power tower. If you watched this whole video, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time.